Today is Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 45, Week 5.
This episode's titled, I Don't Want to Be the Worm, courtesy of Kendra, who also tried to eat a worm.
That didn't go so good.
Previously on Survivor, it was drop your buff, time to swap the tribe's time. Austin and Drew are all powered up. Sifu is ready and prepared because he may have to fight his way out, he tells us. We got Sean the quitter, and then we wrap it up with who voted Sifu and a little bit that I don't think we heard before, which was from Dee, where she commented about Sifu and said, I like you as a person, but I hate you as a player. Interesting. Definitely they did not get along with him, huh? And now for more of that.
Yes, Reba comes back on night 9. Sifu didn't say anything right away. I was like waiting for it.
Got the fire started.
Yep, they got it going before he just commented. Well, I was surprised to see my name.
Julie said she wasn't ready to talk about it, neither was Dee, but he takes a few beats, at least from the edit, and then asks Dee, were you surprised to see your name? And she got a little sassy.
All three ladies told him, we voted Sean. Yeah, I voted Sean. Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. And then Sifu's like, that's really suspicious, but did Sean lie to me? It's like, well, he could have, but why would he?
What'd you think about Julie's comment at one point? She said, we've been nothing but nice to him, and we all think he has an idol, and now he goes this way on us.
Was she talking about Sifu?
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. No, she was talking about Sean. Yeah, I actually looked back down at my notes, and I was like, to Sean.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's talking about Sean.
I think you're misremembering that. Yep. That wasn't how I remembered it. But yeah, they were surprised. But Sifu actually said that Sean said something he really didn't say. And in a way that Sean didn't say it. He just said, did you vote for me? And Sean said no.
Right.
But
what are you referring to?
I didn't write it down or anything exactly what he said, but he said it in a way that said Sean told him, I'm not the one who voted for you, or something like that, or however he said it.
I missed that.
Well, that jumped out different to me than how it actually... It's like in what Sifu was saying conveyed that Sean volunteered the information, which he didn't.
Okay.
It's not, I asked Sean and he said no. It was like, well, Sean told to me, blah, 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 on his way out. He whispered to me. And it just made it appear a little different. So I could understand why she felt that way. It's like, and Dee too, why was he, we gave him what he wanted. Why was he throwing us under the bus? Our gang. We don't get that. Mm-hmm. And I understand that according to how they think it went down, but that's not the actual truth, and they'll find that out.
What they did tonight, huh?
Yeah.
or last week, I guess they knew. I do like that Sifu was not willing to let it pass. He said, I'm going to do some more recon on this. I need to figure this out.
Yeah, my thought was he's just going to spy on him and see if he can hear him talking about it or something.
Mm-hmm. But, that's what you thought at the time?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're bouncing over to New Belo on day 10, another 2-day cycle in the game. Day 10 and day 11 for this episode. And they are dreaming of peanut butter jelly time.
Well, they all had different things. Sushi and chicken and just food. Mm-hmm. They just want food.
Even Austin's saying he's starving and he has no energy.
I do not like to see people get that way. That bothers me. I hate them to be that hungry. I feel like they should have something. I just don't think that's healthy for their bodies.
Well, they have the means to get other things, so
Well, I would assume they're trying.
Kendra had even said they had found a good place to fish
Yeah,
when they got together for the first time in the last episode.
That mean they were productive at it, though.
They're basically just torturing themselves. You have to be
Yes,
really
they were.
careful when you get in these situations, not to give in to the temptation
I
of,
think that makes it worse, yeah.
of negative spirals. It can really mess with you. It's a dangerous game to play there. And speaking of Kendra, we get to see Kendra the worm hunter. I love the setup Brando gave her too. 70% protein, 30% poop. I thought, oh, that's exactly what I would have went for too. And we get our little backstory on Kendra.
are a child.
Little more deep background. She was indeed a worm saver as a child.
Oh, shit.
And
Okay,
she's a Libra, so therefore she can't make up her mind.
I see.
Deep background on Kendra. Mm-hmm. Appreciate all that. Anyway, she coughed it back up.
Yep.
She
spits
tells
it
us
out.
worm 1, Kendra 0.
And Drew tells us Kendra is so fun. It's really nice to have her in camp. I didn't expect that.
Well, he said he didn't either.
Yeah.
But she's just like a wind-up toy. Watch her go.
Then Kendra was talking about their alien alliance where they're all so different.
Yep. She's talking about how she just is so happy, and she's not turning 31. She's turning 30 fun.
I see. I can't remember that far back, so.
I love how Emily is trapped again with another group of people that are all about the aliens. How fitting. That was just perfect symmetry for her
She didn't say anything this time.
about the pyramids. Yeah.
Of course, she didn't say much last time either. She just,
right. But if she had just chimed in, yeah, do you think they built the pyramids? Or that would have been perfect. Oh, well.
Well, at least this time the look on her face didn't give her away. She didn't look at him appalled and
She
in
managed
shock.
it well.
Yeah, she's
rolled with it.
improving.
Yes.
She just went with it.
Okay,
You
over
betcha.
to old Lulu on day 10. Bruce is hounding Jake to get up.
Bruce was kind of pushy and bossy.
This isn't so much that section, but yeah.
I know.
That came a little later. This one's really about Jake.
I know. I'm aware of that. But I thought it stood out when I'm like, excuse me, if I'm laying here resting, give me a minute. Don't be so pushy.
So yes, Jake is there. He's prone on the ground, and then he pops right up at Bruce's insistence, takes a few steps, and then he's back on the ground again with the shakes, just like we saw before. But Nurse Kellie is on it this time, and she even knew that it was same as before. We hear her say that. And he's a little mad at himself that this is happening, and then we get the big background. This is what I think Probst was alluding to on his podcast last week, the big inspirational story that we were going to get from someone in this episode.
Yeah, about his eating disorder.
Yep, said he'd gotten up to 287. He was a binge eater, and he turned it around when he was eating in secret, and his mom came out and told him that she loved him and no matter what. And so he started working on it. It took him 2 years, but he's made incredible progress.
And he said Survivor is a celebration of that life that he's rebuilt.
Well, I was really impressed with Kellie here, too. She was just doing a great job catching him in all the different levels. Here's what's going on physiologically. Here's what's going on psychologically. Don't be beating yourself up. This is how your body works when your blood pressure drops like that. It puts you on the ground so it'll level out. I've experienced this. I can attest. That is how it works.
And yet, he spiraled a bit.
Well, he was wrestling with it. Yeah, he was trying to beat himself up, but she was helping every way.
Yes,
she was
absolutely.
every way he was punching, she was countering it. So, and
But
trying to get him back on track.
He went into that. Well, if I'm going out, I'll fight to win. You know, blah blah blah. I'm gonna fight.
Go down
Nobody's
fighting.
trying to take me out.
Not falling.
It's like, just get up more slowly, would you?
There's an easy answer for all of this.
Don't go from laying down to jumping up.
If you can stop punching yourself in the face for a minute,
Yeah.
here's the trick.
Look at it a little more
Sit up.
recently. Sit up.
Kneel. Stand. Prop yourself up.
Yeah.
Make sure that you got a place to do that safely.
And you don't have to literally jump to Bruce's every command.
There you go. It's good foreshadowing for that section that comes a little later.
Okay, back over to Lulu, day 10. Jacob and Kaleb are like, where's Katurah? She's looking for crabs, and yet she didn't seem to know she was looking for crabs or something when she came back.
Well, she definitely made it the story about her being left on her own.
She gets back to camp and realizes, hey, there's nobody around here. I should search around camp because they probably, don't want to do that if people are around. So she's looking in the trees, and yet...
I like Kaleb tried to give her a heads up, but it was too late.
Yeah, it was too
Everybody
late.
was too close.
Too late. Yeah.
So she gets caught tries the story about how she was looking for papaya, but it doesn't look like anyone was
Not
buying
in the
it.
tree holes.
Kellie was pretty definitive on this.
Yep.
She said Katurah is sloppy. She's not playing a quiet game. She's giving herself away too much.
Yep, and it was very obvious to Kellie that she was searching, and
Likewise to Bruce.
She talks about it.
Yeah. And Bruce even said, well, she's showing us her temperament, I guess.
And, that makes Kellie feel like she's a liability.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, Kaleb goes and tells her, they saw you.
Yep.
I tried to cover for you.
They're onto you. This is a good segment. At first it was about making that connection with Katurah, but really it was about him, again, making connections with everyone in the tribe.
Everyone in the tribe.
So, yeah, he's giving her something, and Katurah likes that. She's like, that's a show me action right there. So we've got an alliance, and she's happy. Who else is happy? Jake's happy. We see Kaleb talking to Jake.
Because
they're playing it.
He's got an alliance.
Yeah. And who else? Bruce. Bruce is good with Kaleb.
Yep. Doesn't have anything with Kellie, though. So, oops. Better go find Kellie.
Finds Kellie, and he ends up sharing with her that there was an idol here on this beach. So
yes, a big secret.
Gives her something, information, which is so powerful.
Yep. That does make people trust you more if you're sharing.
So he's quite possibly the best situated person in the game right now. Everywhere you go, he's able to make these kinds of connections.
Yeah, and they don't seem to be able to help themselves. So he seems to be doing it well. Mm-hmm. I expect it to come back and bite him at some point, but not if everybody thinks he's aligned with them.
Right.
If he can keep that up, but at some point he's going to have to show it.
He the risk he's taking is if he's aligned with everyone, he's aligned with no one kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see him work. I like seeing all those connections and loving all this tribe time. Over to Reba, we see Dee's keeping up that lie, and she can't fathom a quitter. And we get a little of her backstory, too, about her parents as immigrants and how they had nothing and maybe just a piece of bread between them and had to carry their water. And so she has a deep sense of gratitude, even with her circumstances there. Great contrast between her and the new Belo tribe that we saw earlier.
And yet, she still can't respect Sean because they still, at this point, believe Sean volunteered information for no reason.
Yep, she says they had the perfect plan, and now they ended up with the worst outcome. We see Sifu talking to Julie, and that's where we got the dormant volcano thing from Next Time on Survivor last week.
And he said, this is all a lot to process, but the girls just won't tell him anything, so he starts telling all of them that he does have an idol.
And he made a pretty good-looking fake.
Yeah, he did. Which was also in the intro, huh? That's what we saw in the intro.
The little Easter eggs that they put in the intro each week. I thought it was
looked
blue.
Like that. I know you said that, but it wasn't.
But I am colorblind, so
I know.
Possibly it was the fake, or
I didn't take time to tell you.
Could have been the other amulets that come later too.
I think it was the fake.
Because there was one of each color, it turns out.
Oh, okay. But
yep, Sifu thinks they're all three playing him, so that's a possibility. But yeah, he makes the rounds with each one of them and shares that he's got the idol that they've suspected that he's had all along. I don't know that it's doing him any favors.
Okay, why do you think he was telling Jay about the push hands? I mean, we were aware of he does that. Mm-hmm. And that's something he enjoys doing. But she thought he was trying to be intimidating or something.
it could easily be perceived as a veiled threat that we're in a push hand scenario
push
right
me,
now.
I'll push back.
Well, it's about finding your balance so that you can push the other one off balance, he tells us. So, yeah, she did not take kindly to his Tai Chi metaphor.
Well, what I thought was really funny was that she's not intimidated by him at all.
Right.
None of them seem to be intimidated by him. So,
yeah, when you got someone who's that much of a showboat, the way that, at least that's what we get of him in the edit.
yeah.
Then it's hard to take him serious. So she just finally decides, fine, think it's me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if she really feels like her alliance is tight, then it's like, I have no need to fear you.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't always work out that way, but I can understand her confidence. Back over to Belo. Brando tells us he never was very close to Kendra, and he really doesn't know if he can trust her, but... he thought maybe he could nerd out with Drew.
And he made every attempt to do so.
He did.
And I thought tactically Drew made a mistake here.
That he should have told him yes, whether he was...
Or just say, I like the idea of a nerd alliance. I like how you're thinking. You can say all those things. It's not committing to it.
True. But was he trying not to make Emily paranoid? Because she was there.
Well, she was there, and I think she's got some history with Pokemon, too.
Yeah,
I think she was included in the nerd alliance.
Oh, no, I think she was as well.
Okay.
But still, she would know that he was lying to him. And if she saw him doing that lying really well, then... if it were me, I'd be like, ooh, he's lying really well. Does he lie to me that well?
You're talking about Emily observing Drew.
Yes.
Okay.
Lying to Brando.
That's why what I said that he could have chosen to say instead of giving a Brando a clear no, which is what he did.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was thinking. Never mind. Yeah, he did give him a no. But I was thinking, what I was trying to think through was that maybe he did that so she wouldn't trust him if he said, oh, yeah, we'll do this, we'll do. That she wouldn't think maybe he meant it.
You got to be clear with your he's. You're talking about Drew in
Drew.
that case. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Drew.
And Drew's plan is, hey, we got to get rid of some of these old Belos, some of the original Belos. There's definitely a problem we got there.
Well, at least Brando didn't give up. He's like, well, Drew shot me down, so I need to approach Kendra and then see if we can pull Emily in, because that's pretty much his only shot.
I guess my surprise in all this was I was thinking that had happened already, because I thought we had seen some things that alluded to that they were both...
I think on Next On that
maybe
they
that's what it is.
him.
Maybe it just merged together in my head. But he made a decent pitch, acknowledged that she's in the middle in a power position and that she's got the best spot because of that.
Yeah, but she promises both sides.
Yep.
But she is thinking and strategizing in that, well, old Belo still has the most members left. She's thinking the merge and who to go with and who has the most, but she didn't know about their advantages and that kind of thing. I don't know if that would have made a difference.
Well, old Reba still has the 6 too, right?
No? Oh, wait.
Austin, Drew,
Yeah,
Dee,
yeah. They
Jay,
do, don't they?
Julie, Sifu. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
they're
true.
even
Maybe they
at
pointed that out
point.
to her.
I don't know that she was confused by that. That might have just been
I
you.
was thinking Sean. Sean.
Because they
but
lost Sean.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, but no, Sean was from Lulu, not. Okay, got it.
Yeah, Emily tells us she was initially drawn to old Reba, but she's seeing a more potential with old Belo right now. Anyway, she's torn.
So this is the first. Brando has the notoriety of being the very first non-Lulu member to be voted out of the game in
Okay.
week 5.
You just jumped to the end. All right. Did you want to talk about that?
I just did.
Yeah. No, I meant the tribal council, or did you want to say anything about the other part of the episode?
No, go ahead. Whatever you wanted to say.
Oh, well, okay. If we're going with the episode, then Lulu, we go back over to New Lulu.
Yeah, on day
Lulu.
10.
And Bruce is talking about his 30th birthday coming up. No, he's talking about, what was he saying about his 30th birthday? I don't understand my note now.
I don't know, but Kendra was referring
Katurah?
to... Oh,
We're both tired, aren't we?
I guess it would be Katurah.
Yeah.
Katurah was talking about Bruceisms.
Yeah. Well, she said he had been holding it down initially when they got there, but...
Well, she didn't think it would last, and of course it's not. But I don't know why Bruce threw kind of a little bit of a fit, because they suggested...
saving the food.
Saving the papaya, because they only had one ripe. Mm-hmm. And they would have to split that.
Saving it for...
just before the challenge to give them any boost of energy.
And he basically tells Katurah that's the dumbest idea without having to say it explicitly.
Dumbest thing I ever... Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Well, you've said it now. But
yeah, it's already out there. And he was being very bossy. And he's annoying Kaleb, who kind of wanted to work with him.
But I loved Caleb's response. I got it. No problem.
I'll do anything he wants me to do until I vote him out.
Right. I will bend the knee to my enemies, and then they'll never see it coming.
Yep, I like that.
Yeah. It's playing a game on a different level than Bruce, for sure. Okay, back over to you, Reba.
Jay says she really thinks Sifu has an idol, but she came up with the plan that she will tell him that she feels like she's on the outs. Mm-hmm. She thought she was going home, and that's why she panicked and wrote his name down, and that it was her, that she lied about it.
To influence him to not play an idol.
Right.
If he does indeed have one.
So if she was really feeling that desperate, what good would it do her to tell him?
No, that's the plan.
Is she still desperate, though?
Jay?
Yeah.
No, she doesn't believe any of that. That's just the plan to keep him from playing a potential idol.
But why would that keep him from doing that? If she still feels desperate, she might.
She's saying they have the votes. There would be no reason for him to play. He could save his idol. They've got all the votes. He's got Julie and Dee with him to vote Jay out. That's the strategic side of it, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, okay. Well.
And we see Jay explain that to Dee and Julie. And then that gets Dee thinking, well...
Yeah. Or maybe we just vote you out.
Yeah, maybe we do vote her out.
Well, that's who I struggled with. I thought Red would lose again. I never thought Belo would lose, or Lulu. I thought they were stronger. And, I thought there was a possibility she could go home, but I finally thought, no, if they stick together, they probably will take Sifu out if they lose. But
I enjoyed getting to watch Julie wrestle with that. She's like, really? Vote Jay? What? She seems to always be playing catch up when it comes to whatever the new plan is. But then she's weighing them both. Send him with an idol in his pocket, or take an easy route and take her out.
Whatever gets you one. Well,
tough one.
My thought was that
at least they're not saying me.
No, what I thought was, if they lose again, that they might decide, because Julie was like, we need him, we'd still be in the water last week, if it wasn't for Sifu. And if they lose again, she might just go, look, we need him. We can't do all these heavy challenges. We need him. Let's just vote her out.
Yeah, the other plan, the counter to that was, so what? They were both going, Sean and Sifu.
Well, that was Jay's counter, but not necessarily Julie's.
Day 11, time for the immunity challenge. Get a small reaction from Emily when they realized that Sean got voted out. I don't even think they cut to Kaleb, did they? Didn't even bother.
Can't remember that.
All right, so they're going to have to go through a 3-level obstacle course, picking up keys. The first 3 players from every tribe go through and each of them get a set of 3 different possible keys. And this part was new. I don't remember seeing that before. And then they take the keys once they've collected all of them, 9 of them, and then have to release a pole. They've been using that several times in the challenges this season, where they have to unwrap a rope and it goes progressively higher up a big pole. And then when they can loosen that rope, they can use it to open the bag that contains all the sandbags that they're going to shoot with the big slingshot at the 3 targets at the end. which are at 3 different distances.
It looked more like twine than rope, didn't it? It was pretty small.
Okay.
I mean, it might not have been twine, but it was smaller than a big rope.
I liked it. This is also a combo reward challenge. So immunity, reward, and there's a twist. The first place reward is 10 fresh.
10 big fish.
Yeah. And then the second place is 5 somewhat smaller fish.
But the first place also got something to cook the fish with.
Right. They were already set up, sort of ready to be cooked.
Yes. I'm sure that made their mouth water.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, even though, they might have gotten some fish. I'm sure it wasn't those fish, and that would be a lot more filling to have that much fish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have that protein. You'd feel yourself powering back up.
And Kellie sits out for her tribe, and Emily sits out on Belo.
New Belo and new Lulu. Yep. Kellie is not happy.
Not happy, but she'll do it for her tribe.
Do what the tribe needs.
So the first leg, they collect 3 bags each, and Reba's the first to get all the bags. I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
we
that
had
was
them
surprising.
going home.
Yeah.
That's when I started to get a little concerned there.
Yep. Yeah, we saw Brando struggling a little bit when he was going through, and then Drew was having some trouble too. Plus, Drew was having to manage all the time pressure because they were last to get to the catapult.
Well, and he seemed to struggle for...
to get to the slingshot.
He seemed to struggle for quite a while. It didn't seem like that went very fast, and it put them way behind.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's where they kind of lost it. And then they couldn't hit a target either.
And then in this last part, we learned that each player has to hit a target. So you can't have one hero knocking all 3 down. Each of the 3 have to.
Yep, when that's the case, it's going to cause more problems.
But J, D, and Sifu made short work of it, it seemed like.
They did. J got the first, D the second, and Sifu the third. Julie didn't even have to do anything.
Yeah, and then we saw Bruce, Katurah, and Kaleb on New Lulu get second place. Well, I don't think Austin even knocked one down for New Belo. They got soundly routed in that one.
I don't know if did he go up? Yeah, he went up there.
He was shooting, yeah.
Yeah, I think Bruce maybe shot first. Anyway, I thought they had the most guys, big guys, and Katurah's a good size. I thought they would really be able to do that well, but oh well.
Yeah, Austin even traded out. He got frustrated. He wasn't having any luck getting a hit.
I was wrong. All right, so
Reba got their flint back and 10 fish.
Yes, they did.
New Lulu gets 5 fish, and we hear about the journey. So new Reba's got to decide who's going to go on the journey, and they play rock, paper, scissors, and Jay ends up going for new Reba. And then they choose Kellie because she looked like she was disappointed not to get to participate in the challenge, they said. And then they chose Austin because we know Austin and we want to get info from him, which was bad in multiple ways. Like you said, having to go on the journey puts you in the hot seat to a degree because it's expected you're going to come back with something.
I interpreted it as they hoped he would get info in the game, not that they wanted info from him about his tribe.
Way more likely that Jay would like to reconnect with her old tribe member to get info.
Yes.
But they were too open about it.
But I didn't think that's what she said.
Okay.
I thought what she said was we wanted to give him an opportunity to get more info in the game.
Take my version of it as another way that it was not necessarily good for Austin.
Well, yeah, any of it wasn't good for Austin, and you could tell that he was trying to combat that with shaking his head like, no, I don't know what she's talking about. But anyway, Emily gives Jeff the flint and
says, all our wood is wet anyway. Same old for her.
Poor Emily. Okay. On back to Belo, day 11, Kendra's like, this is going to be the first time at tribal council. Mm-hmm. And then they decide to make a respectful
process. Yeah.
Yes, scramble, according to Drew. That's the best way to do it.
They'll go off and have individual discussions.
Okay.
I thought at first they were trying to decide whether or not they were going to do that or just sit there and talk out in the open. Because that's certainly what some people have done in the past, where they're like, well, let's just, be respectful and have the discussion here.
That's what I thought he was going to do, but that's not what they meant. It went down.
Yeah.
So Kendra tells Emily that she wants Drew out, that he's not performing well, he's losing energy, and she thinks he should go. Of course, that's what's best for her.
And that's when we got the title from her, when they were having that discussion. We see Brando having a discussion with Drew and offers his shot in the dark. We've seen that before, huh? I wonder if he came up with that independently or if Emily had mentioned that she had done that and he was copying her to try to build some trust.
Don't know. Didn't work. Drew gave it back to him. I'm not sure.
Not necessary,
why he
said.
Do that.
Well, it was trying to build trust, just like Emily did with Sabaya.
It made me feel like he's like, not going to change my mind. But anyway.
Drew didn't respect it. He said he didn't even put up a fight. He just threw Kendra under the bus immediately.
Yep. He would vote with him to vote out Kendra. But Drew didn't really believe him. He didn't believe that he was going to do that.
And we see Emily telling Drew, well, Kendra says to vote you. So she's being upfront.
Yeah, she did tell him that. But Brando also told her that it was Drew. That was Drew's idea, not mine. He's lying to you. And Emily decided that made more sense.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was very smart for her to confront Drew, but it was good for Drew in that he got to at least tell his side to her and help change her mind about it.
And we get a little reaction from Kendra. I think this is like why Kendra was cast, because she's good at mugging for the camera and
she's
doing
always mugging
these little act out things like, I have burning rage, and then she proceeds to mimic what she thinks burning rage looks like as a cat backed into a corner or a dog yapping at you.
I didn't see that.
The burning rage?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't miss much. Okay.
No, I mean, I didn't see that within her.
No, I just saw somebody acting for the camera.
Yeah, if somebody's having burning rage, you're usually a bit out of control.
Yeah. So what did you think of this journey? Gonna have a big hike and wear them out, get to the top?
Not much.
No? I liked all the nuances of it.
Yeah, I know you did.
I like the food temptation. I like the sustenance versus strategy, they called it, or sandwiches versus amulets.
I thought Austin should have just grabbed all 3 sandwiches and crammed them.
Yeah, that wasn't an option. So.
I know, but, as Jeff said, don't ask, just do.
Well, I think the instructions were pretty clear that wasn't the way the decision was going to be made.
It doesn't work that way. I'm aware of that, but I'm as hungry as he was.
We do get back to a rough climb, and the twist of it, this is another reason I liked it, is Jay knew there was fish waiting for her. She had 2 fish waiting for her.
Exactly. And Emily had...
a fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a fish. There were 5 of them.
Not Emily, no.
No.
Kellie.
Kellie, yes.
Kellie had a fish waiting for her.
Yes. And so... And who has nothing back at camp to eat? Austin.
Yes.
That's why I didn't think he was going to give in as easily as he did. But at least he kept his head in the game and the strategy and thought, okay, I don't need them hating on me. And they both want to do this. So, okay, fine.
So they build a little tension, and as they go to commercial, because Kellie she's stuck in the middle. She hasn't made a decision yet.
Okay, but here's the thing. If they all have to decide together, they can only play it when they're all together. Mm-hmm. And if only one is left in the game, they would only get an extra vote, right?
No. No. Here's how it works. They have to all 3 be played together.
Yes.
And they get 1 extra vote.
Yes.
For that to happen.
But if somebody's left the game...
But if one of the 3 people with an amulet is gone, then the 2 have to be played together, at which point there would...
Steal a vote.
Yeah, get a steal a vote.
And...
If there's only 1, it's a full idol, and it's powered up and good until final 6.
Okay, so Austin agreed to do it willingly, and even though he wants the sandwich, but he is already plotting his revenge against
He didn't like being his hand forced into this, right? He's just not, he doesn't see the value in this at all.
And he's like, I'm going to target them, which would be the best result for him.
That's why I like it, because
Yeah.
it's like, well, you have to work together, or you have to target each other
But
to power up the
he
most.
wasn't talking about doing it just to get himself an idol. He was doing it flat out for
'Cause
revenge.
They wouldn't let him have a sandwich.
Exactly. I'm getting revenge for not eating that sandwich.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to suffer because you forced me to do it. So I thought that was cute. Okay, Emily tells Drew that we talked about this, that she thinks he's lying, but he convinces her he's not.
Yep, and it's a short discussion in this part because Austin comes back,
Yes.
and he's counting on Austin. Now, what did you think about how Austin came up with his explanation for it?
I'm not sure that they'll 100% believe anything he says.
But he did. He followed the formula, which
Yes,
is supposed to
he
be
did.
the best way to go, which is when you're gonna lie, make it be partially true.
Yep, but in my opinion, if you're going to tell that kind of lie, you need to decide that lie before you leave the other two people and come together with a mutual lie that you're going to each one tell so you don't get tripped up later on.
Yeah, that would be the most complete way to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
We don't know that didn't happen, but you would think if it did, they would have shown us, huh?
You would think so, but like I said, doesn't mean it didn't happen. But to me, that's the only safe way to tell that kind of lie, because that was very specific. So then, if they get
I liked that the lie portion that he used was believable because
Yes.
it included the sweat component that
Yes.
has happened previously.
and he was very exhausted,
And we failed, and we didn't finish in enough time. Yeah, I liked all that.
Then he turns around and tells Drew, and asks his opinion. Should we tell Emily?
Yeah.
What are we going to tell her, or
Right.
are we not going to tell her?
Well, Drew says they're coming for me, so yes, let's tell her. Let's show her this.
Well, and I think that did make a difference because she really does. She doesn't question Austin's sincerity the way she does Drew. Mm-hmm. She's like, oh, he's a gamer, he's this, he's that. She has a very different opinion of Drew.
Seems so, yeah. I was wondering what she was thinking when they were having that Pokemon discussion when the Nerd Alliance thing came up, and she heard Drew say that he basically paid someone to hack his account or to cheat the game, how that might have affected her. Or her perception of him. That didn't seem like Drew was doing himself any favors when he did that.
Okay, night 11, we are off to Tribal Council.
First timers get their fire. Fire represents life.
4 out of the 5 are first timers.
Yeah, and just like when New Reba went last week, they put Emily in the middle, where she clearly is. She's the swing vote, the pivot, but she gets seated in the middle for Tribal Council.
But she is a bit frustrated because she's on a losing tribe again. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, Emily, don't overreact too much. But
Brando was observed being in awe of the set, so Probst called him out for that. And Austin talked about how he felt being there because every cycle ends here.
I don't think that was a really good move of Brando, is to point out to the others that, I have a really good relationship with the old Belo members, and it makes me very valuable.
Yep.
Makes me an asset for you.
Very connected. Drew countered that and says, well, that kind of thing can cut both ways. I like, too, just before that Emily said that, that she was pretty calloused about being here. and cut to the chase and said, maybe it's me. Whereas Dee told Sean it was him back on New Reba. Emily got ahead of it and just owned it herself for a little bit of humor.
Yep. Well, Drew's take on Brando saying that was that, or it makes you very dangerous, which was my first thought.
Both two sides to that coin.
Or we should take you out now for sure, just to get you out of here and take one of Belo's numbers. And then old Reba have the most numbers. Mm-hmm. So, okay. Thanks for reminding us of that. Brando.
What'd you think of Kendra's take on things?
She really didn't like it that her game depended on the other people in her tribe.
And just in general, in her life, that's not how she likes to be.
Yeah,
so.
no, that's not the way she rolls. And I don't blame her. It's her first trip to tribal. I don't think the game has been 100% real for her until now.
Right.
She hasn't had to play.
Right. She's just been happy. As she was telling us
just be
before.
happy, have fun. We're doing this, no problem. Yes, we're hungry, but we're still having fun. But now it gets serious.
Yeah, Kendra had said that it was terrifying to her in that moment, and then Drew gets asked about her vulnerability, and he takes that opportunity to talk about how he didn't connect with Kendra initially, but he's bonded with her at this point, and it makes all this a much harder choice. So I like that. That was a good strategic answer to Prope's question there. Emily was laughing. Yeah, sure, I'll be the contrarian. That was good.
We're going to get used to people, but then we're going to have to stab them in the back.
It's all about survival. So you guys have your little touchy-feely discussion. Here's what's really happening.
But Drew is looking
But she did it in a way that didn't offend everyone this time.
No.
Yeah, she's definitely got a softer touch now.
He's looking forward to the merge when they all come together, minus you, Brenda. And Emily said this really is their only opportunity to prove their loyalty.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
I liked her qualitative versus quantitative. So she's talking about her risk management process. And it is nuanced like that. A lot of times you can't afford to do a full quantitative. You have to just go with the best qualitative that you can come up with.
Okay, and it's time to vote. I thought that was something else for Austin to sacrifice the vote and then play the advantage
To get it back.
So
that's how they
to
combined.
extend the
So Drew gave that to him so that they could do this, so that they would ensure they had the votes and power up the idol to the next level.
Yep.
So he's got one more level he can power up to after this one.
So I can't remember which level does this take them to. 3 tribals, or is that 3
The merge,
tribals?
to when they're merged together.
Oh.
And then the third level gets you all the way to Final 5. It's a full-on historic immunity idol.
Okay.
But you have to go through it sequentially like that.
Yep.
So one more tribal council where he doesn't play it, and
Doesn't vote.
it's good. Yeah. But he got his vote back. So I think his vote's back. I don't know that he would he lose it again? He can't lose it again, right? Interesting question. Emily was eyeballing Drew after the vote there. Did you see that? She's trying to gauge his reaction, see what was going on. So we get 2 for Brando, 2 for Drew, and then Brando is out. It's a double whammy for me. I had Sifu going, and I had Brando safe because I realized I hadn't taken any safe points on him. So I was going around and spreading out my safes. And that backfired this week.
Yes, it did.
We get a dramatic what reaction
I
from
thought,
Kendra.
no, she said why.
No, I think it was what. Anyway,
I think you're
we
wrong.
get another mugging for the camera reaction
We'll have to
from
check
Kendra.
that one out, because I wrote why.
Well, what did you think of the overall episode?
Oh, I thought it was good.
Yeah, I even liked it. The journey didn't bug me because I liked all the nuances, because they did have food back there. So why would you? But then it's this classic variation on it that they have to be played together. They have to agree to work together to get an extra vote, or to get the no vote, or to have it fully power up if there's only one left. So the progressions, I'm enjoying the progressions to the advantages.
I do believe that Austin will get over that, especially if they get a nice merge feast or something. Though, do you really think this is a merge?
Is there anything else you want to say about the episode before we move on?
Oh,
do you think there's any full-on medical risk for Jake, or you think Kellie's pretty much got it tagged?
I don't think there is, because like he said, he does very well in the challenges. He works hard. He does. He doesn't seem to have any problem in the challenges. It's every time it's been when he stood up so fast like that. And or was inhaling smoke and hyperventilating from the way he was breathing.
Right.
That'd make anybody faint. So, no, I don't think his health is really at risk. I certainly hope not.
Right.
I wouldn't want anybody to stay in the game and jeopardize their health.
Definitely liked his story. It was a fantastic story, and
Yes,
he certainly worked really hard, and it paid off, and he's here now.
Yes.
So good on Jake. Enjoyed that part. It wasn't as annoying as I thought it was going to be after hearing Probst preview it a little bit. And I like the contrast between Dee and the new Belo tribe when it came to hunger. Her gratitude and how her family's history had given her an opportunity to see the world and her circumstances through a completely different lens. So she's starving just like them, but it didn't have that effect on her that it did on them. So, yeah, great. And, hey, no quitters. What a bonus. Let's celebrate.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Well,
New best episode of the season could be.
And even his response and everything he had to say was good. You know, he wouldn't trade the experience for anything.
Are you talking about Brando? Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, that being there and getting to know those people and being able to be vulnerable, I think he had a wonderful experience. And was he ready to go? Of course not.
Right.
But he accepted it. This is what's happening, so...
I thought that he had a much stronger relationship with Kendra, and so when we saw that wasn't really there, and part of it may just have been Kendra's approach to things, that...
I think that he let Kellie
manage
talk
that
to the
relationship.
Absolutely.
That's a good point.
That he did not connect with either one of the other women, and he let Kellie handle all that.
And didn't connect with him because we saw them all together having fun and goofing off with the buff when he was wearing his buff like they were, but maybe he didn't make one-on-one connections with him, with them like he did with Kellie.
Which I think is kind of dangerous because I didn't feel like he was real solid with Jake or Bruce either. They were saying they were aligned, but...
They did show him making connections with Bruce, but yeah, we didn't see a whole lot between him and Jake. But I guess the other takeaway in this, too, was how Kellie's perceived when we got to hear Kaleb's view of it and how she was, in his eyes, she was the best player there, the best that he had seen playing. So he was acknowledging how significant her role was in the tribe and how well she was playing the game. So he just seemed to have mad respect for her in that regard.
Awesome.
And then maybe we could, we can look at it that way, that Brando was recognizing the same thing. And like you said, he was leaning on Kellie to make those social connections. Mm-hmm. And since he hadn't invested it as much into Kendra since they had been, the few days they had been together on New Belo, he didn't have a lot of a foundation to work from. We didn't initially see that, but I guess that's what they were showing us this time. So I really enjoyed it. There's a lot packed into this episode.
And I think Kellie's going to distance herself somewhat from Katurah as well.
That definitely seemed to be the case in how she was describing Katurah's gameplay.
Because I think she's not even smart enough not to let us catch her doing that. Yeah. Can't she hear us coming? Or
very sloppy.
You would think she would hear them coming out there. Or maybe she was just focusing too hard.
Mm-hmm. And when you're searching, you can get tunnel vision.
You sneak up on me all the time and scare me to death.
I don't actively sneak up on you. I don't.
You do.
There's
don't think
difference.
You do. You don't do it deliberately.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're so quiet. You can't. Even my friends that I've been over have said, you can't hear him. You can't hear him coming. He always startles us. You never hear him coming. How can you not hear him coming?
Yeah, I don't know how you can not hear me coming. I'm a big lumbering person. So, yeah, okay.
But you walk
that's because your
silently.
hearing's bad.
Well, my hearing is bad. That's the truth. Though yours is starting to slip some, too,
so
I've
you've
noticed.
Noted. Yeah.
I know. You keep saying that. But mine's getting worse, too. So it's like, what'd they say? What'd they say?
Cracking each other up all the time here. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Next Time on Survivor. What did you get from Next Time on Survivor? Is it a merge?
Well, that's what I ask you.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. They're saying it's a merge, but we didn't hear Jeff say it was a merge, did we?
No, I don't believe so.
If I don't hear Jeff say it.
Here's the thing, they are coming together, so they have an opportunity. They have an opportunity to play that.
The ambulance.
Yeah,
yes.
the advantages.
Yes,
so that's a nice carry on to having this journey, and then lo and behold, in the next game cycle, it's a possibility for you to work together.
But we do know that they've come together before. Everybody thought it was a merge, but it wasn't a merge yet.
Right. And they're really big in the new seasons here, post-pandemic seasons, on earn the merge. That's their motto.
Yeah.
Because they're thinking that'll give them some TV moments.
Yeah, and they usually do that with an uneven number.
So does that mean that if Austin gets his way, it'll either be Jay or Kellie going out?
Who knows?
I don't know that Austin's going to get one over on Kellie. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be an interesting showdown if she decides to head that way. On the plus side, he's got an idol because it's also activated because they're together. So then it expires. So
he's the only one with an idol.
His next tribal council is he has to use it or save it and power up to the next level where it's good till final 5. Yeah, so that part's going to be interesting. Anything else you captured on next time on Survivor?
Yeah, I was still thinking about this. But,
yeah.
Drew tells the other 3, we're very strong. We can squash them. And Bruce said to Kaleb, you're powerful. And she's like,
Well, he was trying to ease his mind. It's like, look, you're not just on your own.
Yeah, you're powerful. You may not realize it, but
translation, we need your number. We just lost Brando.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Caleb's like, I'm not Batman. I'm the Canadian. Mm-hmm. It's like, yes. And, we've had a few Canadian winners, too.
Yes.
And you're not looking so bad. So.
No.
All right. That's about it. That's all I got anyway. Did you get anything else?
No, I'm excited to see them all come together and how that's going to pan out and see what kind of magic Kaleb works and who he's going to end up targeting, how that's going to pan out.
And
because now old Reba has an advantage, and they've got Emily working with them. So
'tis true.
They've got enough that they could lock it down right there. That's the majority that you need to control the outcome.
But do you think Kendra would want to go back with Katurah and Kellie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Think so.
No doubt.
And maybe bring Emily. I would think she might want to push a women's alliance.
Could be, yeah.
3,
so they're merging at 13.
5, 6, 7. And 7 of them are women. So they have the majority.
Mm-hmm. That would be something to see that happen, obviously.
Yep.
All right. Lots to ponder. How about our JSFL update?
I can do that. All right. There are 3 people tied in first with 26 points. 11 people lost their USB. 92 people, including Stacy, lost a safe point this week. Mm-hmm. And congratulations to the 20 people who earned a vote-off point.
Yeah, good job.
In the side challenge, Rebecca's in first with 24. With 23, Randy. With 22, Jeremiah. With 21, Justin, Lisa Ray, Robert, and Stacy. And with 19, Drew and Parker.
Okay. I didn't fall completely to the basement, but I'm making
Not yet.
A rapid descent. Well, we'd love it if you would join us for the listener feedback show. We've got the broad strokes here in the recap reaction episode. On Saturdays, we do the listener feedback show. We got a voicemail line to make it super easy. You can call in 206-350-1547. Toll free 844-643-8737. You can record your own audio. That's how people get the best quality generally, and attach it to an email and send it in. Or you could just type up an email and send it to us, and we'll read it in on your behalf. That email address is joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Feedback's due noon Pacific time on Saturdays. We ask that you keep it in that 3-minute range so we can get it all together. And we're looking forward to hearing your thoughts on this episode, celebrating how fantastic it is that we did not have a quitter That's great.
Yay.
Yes. And looking to hear what you're thinking about each of the castaways after this week's gameplay. Who impressed you the most? Who do you think's playing the best? And why is it Kellie? And who is in jeopardy of being voted out next as they come together? Yeah. My USB.
You're projecting a little there.
Could be. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything?
And do you think it's really a merge?
Yes, of course. That's perfect. Perfect question. We'll see what we get out of it going forward. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
All right. Have a good one.